Hi, travelers. This is going to be an open reading for you guys here on the website on the back end. Let me apologize to you first and foremost because what has been happening is the camera on my MacBook has been shutting off in the middle of readings, and I cannot figure out what the problem is. I've called the Apple people, I've checked the settings, I've checked the settings of the program that I'm using. So if this shuts off in the middle, don't worry, I will come right back to where we were. So I do want to apologize to you for that because I don't have a clue why it's doing what it's doing. So with that being said, I do want to go ahead and let you know that the horoscopes for July are going to be a bit late. And haven't had a chance to finish that article about Donald Trump yet, but I'm going to be working on it today. This has just been kind of here in Texas, we have all of a sudden gone backwards. It's that Mercury retrograde. Remember, you move forward, then you go backwards, then you move forward. And so lots of things have shifted. Things that were scheduled for me in my personal life have now changed. And so, and everybody's kind of dealing with the same thing. So with that being said, I'm going to be using the Fantastical Creatures Tarot. I haven't used these in a while. And we'll clarify with La Vida Sibila. And then we will wrap it up with both Khalil Gibran Prophet card. And then we will, you'll get an opportunity to draw a Golden Nostradamus. And I don't know which order I'm going to do those in, which one first, which one second. Okay, so with that being said, let me go ahead and turn the camera around and let's get this started here. All right, I've already done a bit of shuffling. This is really, it's the Two of Swords has fallen out. I'm sorry, is that two of Wands? That's the Two of Wands. Let me pull my reading. I was at the fabric store the other day and I forgot to get myself a cloth to make me a new reading cloth. I guess maybe one day this week I'll have to brave it and go back. They're telling us to stay home if we don't have to go out. I might have something myself that I could use. I'm not sure. Alright, here's the rest of the Wheel of Fortune. The Queen of Swords. I want to say it's Kali Ma. I'm not sure. The Page of Swords. So there are two swords here. A Wands card. The Three of Cups. And thus far I have two court cards. The Queen and the Page. The Magician. Oh, that's interesting. Now, the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune are kind of related to each other because the Wheel of Fortune is a 10 card. And 10s always portend to change, but that change is also the beginning of something new. So in the numerology, 1 plus 0 equals 1. So that is a new start of some sort. And it doesn't mean it's going to be, easy or great or fun or more positive. Just equals a change, okay? The Four of Swords. So now I have 3 swords, a cup, a wand, and 2 major arcana cards. The Knight of Pentacles, 3 court cards. The Knight of Pentacles. Oh, wow. And the Three of Pentacles. So 2 threes and 3 people. Now, 2 threes means that there's more than 2 people involved, of course. It could be up to 4 or 5. But 2 threes also speak to the possibility of suspension of events. That more needs to happen or more needs to develop before the situation will move forward. What is under the deck? Oh, wow. The Queen of Pentacles. So there's our 4 people at the very least. As a person, the Queen of Pentacles would be an earth sign female or just an earth sign individual. Taurus, Virgo Capricorn. As a characteristic, this is somebody who's going to be um, practical, prudent, down to earth, good with finances perhaps, or at the very least good at um, making money or doing things that bring some, that have some kind of value. Okay. The Queen of Swords would be air sign, um, Gemini, Libra, and or Aquarius. But also she's going to be someone who is a true battler, a true warrior, someone who's sharp, intelligent, quick-witted, but can also be somebody who will literally use her little swords to, chop you down, cut you up, maybe stab you in the back. Um, but she's somebody who's very shrewd, okay? Uh, Calculating is not the right word because that can tend to have a negative connotation. But believe me that she's somebody who is, the differences between the two, this person is more nurturing and perhaps soft in one aspect, dependable, somebody you could, not saying that this person won't have those characteristics, but this person is more objective. That's the word that I'm using for it. Can be more objective in terms of decision making and how they are reacting or behaving in a certain situation. So I have the two major arcana cards, the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician. I have two pentacles here. There's only one wand. 1, 2, 3 swords and two pentacles. So obviously these are messages, thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas coming across. This Three of Cups is right in the center, so there's an emotional quality or quotient to this. And for me, what that means is it's something that it's very important to you, in whatever manner it's going to be important to you, right? And the two pentacles are representative of the actual doing of, the investment of time or money, the practical, everyday, getting down, rolling up the sleeves, kind of doing things. Now, this 2 at the top tells me that there's a decision here, the 2s. That's what 2s are. 2s are a crossroads. They're an option, a choice, a decision. But it can also represent some kind of opposition, someone being opposed to you about something. But this could also be an internal opposition. You are torn between two things. That is the crossroads or the decision. You have two choices, two options, two things to choose from. And you don't know exactly what to do. And for me, the wands always represent your focus and your determination. So this kind of tells me there's a bit of scattered energy here. Past, present, future. Past, present, future. Interplay of the cards. Okay. Let me take a look, because there's something that this Wheel of Fortune is trying to say to me, positioned where it is, particularly next to this Queen of Swords. So why don't I just read through the meanings of the cards for you. You are waiting for results. You are awaiting the results from something you have started. Focus your energy and will to fulfill your desires, but be certain that the end result is what you really want. Whatever this thing is that you're waiting for, some kind of change has come in, whether this change has been affected by you or simply by the circumstances, okay? The wheel. And the wheel is just that. It's, a change of luck. But the one thing I guess you should remember about the wheel is, it's a continuum. It always turns. And so maybe you've been at the top of the wheel and now you got to go down to the bottom. But also remember that if you've been at the bottom, it's going to turn around and you can make it to the top. It's what you do between the times between going from the top to the bottom and back from the bottom to the top again that mean the most, or that is going to be the most important. What you say, what you do, how you think, how you behave. how you plot, how you plan. The wheel. A cycle ends in your life and an initiation period arrives, bringing you good fortune. However, you are faced with the dilemma of choosing the right course that could take you higher on the wheel or let you fall. Obstacles that may threaten your plans will last only a short time. All right? So, whatever obstacles or choices or whatever has presented themselves to you, you are now supposed to be using this time to figure out what you're going to do as the wheel starts to turn in your favor, okay? Or starts to turn. The Queen of Swords. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Kali Ma. No, she's Naga. The legendary Nagas. Okay. The meaning is, if you can bring forth your willpower to cope with an emotionally trying event, you will undergo positive growth. Something has either come in, something that has confused you or doesn't seem to be exactly what it is, or the situation has changed in some way that is not recognizable to you. If you have taken the time out, that's a smart thing to do. Because this Page of Swords says, keep aware for a message and an opportunity about money and or material gain. But this can also be an advance notice of a troubling period in your life, especially if you do not see through the illusions. This card is about seeing someone's true intent or personality. Now, I don't know if these are two different people or if this is how you start and then as the situation changes, this is the characteristics you're going to have to adopt, okay, by taking control of the situation. And basically the way that you're going to do that is through your thoughts, okay, what you think. That's where the swords are cropping up. Let's take a look at these cups here. If I'm not mistaken, the cups are in the back of the book. This is the only deck I've ever seen that put the cups at the very back. Okay, cups usually come first. The Three of Cups. You will have the opportunity to move away from an unproductive emotional situation. Success, celebration, and abundance will soon arrive. You are moving out of a mental fog into a cycle of seeing things clearly. The Magician. I hope my camera doesn't shut off. And I hope you can hear me. There's such a loud whir of the computer, so I hope you can hear me. The Magician. A person who has the ability to draw psychic energy from the universe. A student, especially in the arts, having the self-control and determination to reach a goal. This is an excellent time to make certain that thoughts and energies flow in harmony. I just get the sense that for some of you, some kind of clarity has come or will be coming. I just don't know what the situation is about. The Four of Swords. A time of sorrow and misfortune is followed by a period of peaceful rest and recovery. And I don't know if this is the idea that it was someone else who cropped up, or I don't know if it's one of these two, in which there was an opposition you weren't able to clearly see, like I said, who the person or what the situation was about. So you take a step back from it. That's a cross energy. So it kind of has it's an indirect influence. It's not a all of your direct influences are linear and this way, okay, up and down and horizontal. Your indirect energies. So these cards have an indirect effect on what's happening. Whatever this thing is, it centers around this Three of Cups because it's right in the center. So here, it's the Knight of Pentacles. It said it may represent a new job, location, or experience. A new psychic talent, magical art, or creative ability is awakening. Here's the Three of Pentacles. And I love this. It ends with this Three of Pentacles. And I love that it ends with this Three of Pentacles. Opportunities will soon come for you to learn new skills. But this card is also used for exorcising bothersome entities. You know, and thought forms are entities. Let's see if the cards will tell us what are these Three of Cups all about? What are they trying to tell us? It's the same through the illusions. The Allegrezza al Cuore, a Three of Cups, so to speak. Actually, it's a number 5, but to me, this is representative of the Three of Cups card. The Allegrezza al Cuore, the Gran Consolazione. Wow. Okay. And the Vecchia Signora. Now, that's an interesting card. What am I going to look at? I am going to look at this Wheel of Fortune, just because of where it sits. The Gran Signore. The Pensiero. And the Il Nemico. There's been a change of heart here. There has been a slow someone going from the Gran Signore to the Il Nemico. I don't feel that these are two different men. I feel that it is the same man. The emotionally trying time and having to get your emotions. Since they are all kind of faced towards this Two of Wands, the Gran Signore is looking at it, the Pensiero is pondering it, and the Il Nemico is running away from it. So, but he's still faced that way. So let's look at this Two of Wands. I don't know if this is a warning that this person may have the ability to turn into this. This could be a warning. Morte. Dispiacere. Wow. And the sospiri. Not funny. See the arrow here at the top? There it is. That is pointing to the problem or the trouble. See that? This is an end. I think it was abrupt and completely unexpected. I don't even, as I said, it keeps shutting off. This was an ending, abrupt, completely unexpected, and has left you feeling literally torn. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to think. You don't know how to feel. This Wheel of Fortune situation is, if I don't know, I want to say, if you think it was you, perhaps like the person left or broke up because it had something to do with you, that's not really true. The person themselves have been going through some kind of change. Sometimes we grow apart, or we figure out that whatever path that we're on is not, we discover at some point that that's not really what we want to do. That doesn't make a breakup or whatever the case to be more easier to accept. But that the truth of the matter is sometimes that's just the way things are. So here we have it represents the arrival of good news, fulfillment, recognition, happy times, celebration, support by someone close. It says that if personal relationships were troubled, it heralds a reconciliation. It represents requited love or a period of emotional stability. It indicates the presence of loyalty and the ability to make a commitment, but in more than one area, also in business. It foretells the answer to a prayer, a fulfilled hope, and a period of happiness ahead. It guarantees success and realization. In business, it represents good investment, achievement, good contracts, and financial stability. Here with this card. And this is a Seven of Wands. It almost is repeating the same thing over this Three of Cups here. A Seven of Clubs. Success and affirmation in all areas. It is a clear signal that one is able to turn one's dreams into reality. It is a card of recognition of fame and gaining a good reputation and prosperity. Light at the end of a tunnel. A blessing that comes as a result of having taken the right actions in the past. In love, it heralds a period of success, harmonious relationships, and reconciliation, and we get that twice. Financially, it represents money, various assets and property. It heralds, this can also be a significator card for such things, but it also heralds a period of wealth and prosperity thanks to hard work and not blind luck. It can also stand for one's work environment. But here she is. And yes, she can, she's a Two of Swords. She can come across as a person, but personally myself, to me, she's kind of coming across as let me explain. Someone age 60 or over, but more often than not, it can represent a grandmother, an auntie, an elderly relative, or an old or a widow. Okay, this card is about blood ties and family ties. That's the groom. This is the brother. She is the bride. Here may be another relative. Okay. The second meaning is the person is somebody who is wise, somebody who's able to give good advice based on her life experience and or affection for you. Generally, she will be wealthy and or at least financially secure, and someone who can give you a helping hand. But it represents life experience, good advice, tradition, conservative views, and a harmonious family environment. Someone, again, who is able to give very sound advice and a good perspective of the situation. But this card can also accept someone who can represent someone who has accepted a situation and has learned how to cope with it well. It suggests resilience, strength, wisdom, and inner strength. It represents as the end of a phase, a waning of some kind, situations that are about to terminate and or decline, and that something or someone is losing their hold over you. I don't see this as it speaks about a travel card, but I don't see that. Okay. In love, it indicates someone who's attached to their family, to traditional views, and to the love of one's extended family, especially a female relative or someone who is comparable to a relative. It can also indicate a deep love, not based on shallow motives or physical appearance, but based on common interest and a true soul connection. It can indicate a lover from a past and or a soulmate. It represents someone who is wiser than their years, but it also represents nostalgia and attachment to the past and the way things used to be. It tells of slow change, structural changes, and a situation that will solve itself over time. It indicates that time will heal whatever adversity is indicated. The Gran Signore, the King of Hearts. A benefactor, generous, wise man, philanthropist, a true gentleman. More often than not, he's wealthy. The broader interpretation is the presence of good company, people who are supportive and encouraging. In love, someone who's faithful and has genuine feelings and attentions. Okay. That's really all it says. Here is the pensiero. It reveals the intentions of the person it refers to. And this could also be yourself, in which case it will reveal your innermost thoughts and true intentions. If not you, this relates to someone close to you. And it has a second function, that of revealing the true inner nature of the person. Remember, seeing through the illusions. This is thinking about something. It doesn't denote whether the person has good intentions or bad intentions. It refers to important decisions and possible misgivings and second thoughts, but also to projects and ideas. The card can refer to meditation and inner journeys and great dreams that can be achieved. In love, unless other cards indicate otherwise, it can show affinity. But more often than not, it points to the true intentions of you towards your partner and or vice versa. Near negative cards, it indicates someone having cold feet about a commitment. This is an interesting card. This says this is somebody that you know. I don't know if there's a third party here. Who will see? He's the Jack of, or Knight of Spades. He's the number 11. This card can be summarized in one sentence. The primary meaning is that of known enemies. It is a warning. This is someone that you already do not like, or you suspect that this person is plotting against you. In which case, this card comes to confirm your suspicions. The person is a man. This person has an open dislike for you. Someone whose ambition, desires, and ego clashes with that of you, and he is waiting for you to be at your most vulnerable before striking. So be careful, because this can also be someone seemingly very nice, but somehow does not inspire trust and can give you a bad feeling every time you're in the person's company. Hence the snake he's holding in his hand here. Can you see that snake? See it right there? Right there. Okay. The card warns that you should trust your gut feeling about this person or situation and keep them at arm's length. It represents someone who cannot mind their own business and who cause serious nuisance to downright harm to you because they will not stop prying and meddling. It also indicates someone who cannot see reason even if the truth is presented to them. Now, in love, it indicates a rival or someone who openly does not want a couple to be together, but can also be a mean-spirited lover, not the official partner, but also a vindictive husband. The person can be a true snake, and one of the partners has become a sworn enemy to the other, and love will turn to hatred for everyone to see, often involving gossip amongst one's circle of friends. It indicates snares and tricks and the danger of signing documents we do not fully understand, and businessmen who should not be trusted. Professionally, this is someone who always works against you. His agenda is always personal, and he nourishes rancor against you, so the person can be a colleague. It indicates cunningness, often a low cunning, someone who watches silently and plots against you, jumping to conclusions as to why things are without being interested in the truth. But on a broader level, this card is a harbinger of unpleasant events, scandal, gossip, pettiness, threats, blackmail, or something or someone will become dangerous, like a snake. This card indicates someone with a forked tongue, a spreader of lies and maliciousness and gossip. That there's a lot of negativity being projected towards you by this person, and they want to see you suffer. And that's why this card has come up. Now here it is. And this starts out. Now what is the meaning of the Two of Wands in this card, in this deck? The two says, you are awaiting the results from something you have started. Focus your energy and will to fulfill your desires, but be certain the end result is really what you want. This card is used when you must make a choice. It's about this person. Now, this could be the idea that this person shows up, has already shown up, and the situation is about to turn. I don't know, maybe you do have two people you can choose from. I don't know. Let's take a look at the this is definitely a warning. I do want to tell you that this is a warning. This card acts as a pair of cosmic scissors as it cuts the flow and brings it to an irreversible end. Something drastic that one cannot go back, in which one, needless to say, this can be positive if it's the end of an addiction or an abusive relationship. It represents the end of a life cycle in whatever area inquired about. Something has reached its end and is now ready to die out. It is important to remember that this card indicates abrupt and final change. Death is the most drastic form of change, from the material state to the spiritual one. So the concept of death has been chosen to represent all of those situations that will be ended abruptly and for good. But it also behaves in a particular way, as it functions as a card of deprivation. It negates whatever the other cards are saying in this respect. If other cards foretell danger, this card negates a bad situation by averting it. But by the same token, it can, if other cards foretell, for instance, of a happy marriage, and this card is amongst them, it negates a happy union. It is like a minus sign. It is not bad by itself, but it can be near positive cards as its voice is louder. It merely indicates an ending to something or someone. In personal relationships, it indicates a separation, a breakup, extreme incompatibility, or that someone has done something which can never be taken back and the relationship can never go back to the way it used to be. It represents someone who has metaphorically crossed the Rubicon and will never be able to go back in whatever way this applies to the particular person in question. It marks the person or situation with the mark of irreversibility. Sometimes it could be a mighty fall, threat, betrayal, or public humiliation. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Oh my God. Generally, it indicates a closure with something or someone and represents anything that is destined to die and be finished with. In this instance, however, it can indicate liberation and freedom from an oppression condition. But this card always comes with a certain amount of discomfort and pain. Now, I don't know. For some of you, this could be the idea that someone has passed away simply because this card comes first and then you get the news. I cannot deny that. But this card says bad news. It does not necessarily describe the event causing the bad news, but underlines a negative emotional impact. Now, I'm going to read this even though it doesn't really somewhat kind of apply. But it says that during world wars, when this card showed up, it used to represent giving little or no hope of prospect of friends or people's returning back from the front alive. It says the severity of the news depending upon which cards followed. Okay, but it can also be true today. It foretells of a period of difficulty and sorrow, the failure of a project, humiliation, vicious gossip, and or anger in whatever area it is inquired about. It can herald violence, attacks, and arguments that become physical. Okay. In love, it heralds misunderstandings, disappointments, and separation. In family matters, it foretells of a falling out, bitter disputes, feuds, and very sad news. Financial matters, it may indicate a dismissal, a bankruptcy, a bad investment, and or bullying at work. But the two main areas that this card most represent, excuse me, is the open letter, which heralds unexpected bad news. And the second is the woman's reaction to the letter, because it indicates an event that will shake you to your core and will negatively affect you on an emotional and very deep level. Broadly speaking, it can indicate a period of inner turbulence or painful inner change or karma, bad karma that is demanding repayment. So spirity. And these are all spades up here. So this is definitely some bad news. And perhaps this is the idea that somebody has, like the card said, it's changed where now everybody can see the rancor and the hate between the two of you. Somebody who you know, you guys used to be a great couple and now you have become bitter enemies. This card is the sigh. It is one of anxiety and tears. It is caused by circumstances that you are aware of, while the problem lies elsewhere. See? Here. Hold on. It indicates the presence of discordant energy, this crooked arrow, whether it be a situation, a person, or your inner self. It is a card of desperate desires and of unrequited love, of troubled relationship caused by people who do not know how to love unselfishly. It represents waiting and long delays that are the cause of extreme inner tension. uncertainty around your fate, or maybe the fate of a person or situation dear to your heart. The uncertainty is not caused by a past event, but is due to something being projected into the future. In essence, it describes a fear of the future due to precarious present conditions. It indicates someone who desperately wants to hope for a better tomorrow, and unrealistic hope is the only thing that he or she has got left to sustain them. But this kind of hope offers no real comfort, and is often an excuse to not see things as they really are. The illusion. More broadly, it indicates someone who has shed a lot of tears over something or someone, excuse me, and it casts a pall of anxiety and precariousness over any area inquired about. It indicates a missed opportunity, or one that has been perceived as such, indicated by the ship that has now sailed, leaving the woman behind. In love, it indicates unrequited love, an unrealistic attachment to an idea of how things should be or have been, a turbulent relationship, for it can herald turbulence, or even a long distance relationship. It points to inner turmoil caused by confusion and the inability to hear the inner guidance of the soul. Particular attention needs to be paid to the arrow, which indicates the answer has been sought in the wrong direction. Okay? It can sometimes indicate someone with a very dark soul and a misguided person who has lost all sense of touch with their life purpose and has strayed from it. Whoever this person is, this is a warning that this is, you know, based upon these three cards down this row, two things. This is either going to be a second party who's trying to break you up with somebody, okay? Maybe you reconcile, you get back together, whatever the case may be, or maybe you determine, you know, I really shouldn't be having that affair with that guy. I'm going to get back with my spouse. That's one possibility. But this other possibility is a warning that I don't think somebody is who they pretend to be, or has the ability to be very, very two-faced. And this card, to me, is speaking about the idea of accepting, I don't know, maybe things the way that they are, because you're able to see through the illusions. Okay? What I'm going to do is to, where's my other deck? Right quick. These are not the cards that I'm looking for, but I shall use them anyway. These are the Lenormands. I'm looking for my playing cards. And I think that's what I should use and not the Lenormands. 1 second. I think I put them away in here. Just find them. Yes, let's take a look. These cards kind of just cut to the heart of the situation. I really want to take a look at these three cards. The Nine of Clubs. The Three of Hearts again. And the Three of Spades. Well, that speaks to everything. Now, one of the meanings of I gave you the meanings of the 2 3s, more than, two people are involved, that it could be suspended events, but another one is one of you is craving more change and excitement. However, let me give you, I don't know if I have the right thing. Yes. This is speaking about a wealthy marriage. Okay? Love and happiness. But in a difficult spread, it indicates emotional problems and the inability to decide on who to love. There's some kind of ending here. This is the one that stands out the most. Breaks in a relationship. Sometimes it indicates that a third person is breaking into a relationship somehow. This is not a joke. This is somebody who, again, it is the card of misery and sadness and tears in general. You keep getting that right there. Hold on. Yeah, that's what it says. So what I'm gonna do is pull. Let's pull a Golden Nostradamus first. Maybe you married somebody for money, and now the person is like they want to. They discovered that there was an affair, and now they're gonna, there's a divorce coming. It doesn't explain what's happening here. So I don't quite know what to tell you about that. Maybe this is the idea that you find out that somebody that you've been with is leaving and finding someone else. Okay, they're going to marry someone else. Maybe this is an ex. And you get the news that the person's getting ready to get married again. It is the chimera. That's interesting. One card from the prophet Khalil Gibran. The chimera. But that's interesting because the chimera appears to be one thing, but is another. Can morph into something completely different. It is genetically two separate things in one. Has the ability to change shape, though. Wow, that's interesting. It says pleasure is a freedom song. Well, let's read this one first. This is an interesting card. And your body is the harp of your mind, and it is yours to bring forth sweet music from it, or confused sounds. And now you ask in your heart, how shall we distinguish that which is good and pleasure from that which is not good? Go to your fields and your gardens, and you shall learn that it is the pleasure of the bee to gather honey of the flower. But it is also the pleasure of the flower to yield its honey to the bee. For to the bee a flower is a fountain of life, and to the flower a bee is a messenger of love. And to both, bee and flower, the giving and the receiving of pleasure is a need and an ecstasy. So I don't know if this is the idea that this is something that is really at its core sexual in nature, but also life affirming and life, you know what I mean? I don't know. But that could be what the grounds of the whole relationship is, yeah? The chimera. The overly avid often finds something that leads to an unhappy and painful life. This call is a reminder to be concrete. Let go of your dreams and illusions and leave behind excess ambition. Misfortune will not strike you if you have ideals in keeping with your skills. I really don't know what that means. Besides, don't let your mouth write a check that your ass can't cash. That's the only thing I can think of. And I'm just curious about something. Um, Let me pull this. I want to pull one Lenormand on these cards in the center, because this is really, honestly, what I don't see it. I don't know exactly what these cards are trying to tell me. It's the Queen of Swords. Again, the woman. This is about you. If not you, it's somebody close to you that you know. Whoever she is figures prominently in this. She's shown up twice. Isn't that interesting? Well, that's what I have for you for this open reading. I'll try to be bringing you another one in midweek. Different deck of cards. And I ask that you kind of give me a little, time to get those horoscopes up. I was hoping to have them ready right at the first week of July. But so, until next time, namaste.